Good morning. It's another beautiful day. This morning I pulled two cards came out at the same time, and they were spiritual justice and non-attachment. I also decided that I wanted to pull from another deck to see if there was any clarity around this, because spiritual justice is, if there's a challenge with people understanding restorative justice, and we have a concept of justice that is very punitive and physical and punishment. The idea, the concept of spiritual justice is even more abstract and maybe elusive for people to grasp. But I'm going to do my best to share what I mean when I'm talking about spiritual justice. So, have to define a couple of things first. The first thing is spiritual. What is spiritual? Well, spiritual is the acknowledgement that everything is spirit, that everything is interconnected, that all things are working together, even if they are seemingly opposed in their energies. That is what the spiritual realm is all things. And it's all the things that we see and we cannot see. Everything is spirit. Just as we talked about before is the balance, the equilibrium that exists within nature, within the universe, within the cosmos. It is the way that the sun rises and sets. It is this way of holding the laws of the universe, how the laws of the universe work, just like gravity. If you throw something up, it will hit the ground. It's not going to stay in the air. Spiritual justice, if we put the two of those together, we'll understand that the interconnection of all things is the balance of all things. And this is the part that's a little hard maybe it's not even hard to understand, but it's hard to hear, because the non-attachment piece means that when we are focused on bringing justice, when we are focused on doing the work of balancing our energy, harnessing the physical body, the emotions, and putting them in alignment with the truth of who we are, the power of who we are, which is spirit, which is connected to all things. When we're focused on that act, we are operating in spiritual justice. We are balancing. We are the energy that is united with the universe. And we are doing the work. Now, again, this is to remind us that it's not about just doing the work one time. We find our balance, but we must maintain our balance. We must always check our balance. We must be held accountable to ourselves. And so this is reminding us that we embody justice when we do the work, when we focus on being in harmony with all things. And this is the hard part, because we have to release what other people are doing. If we allow ourselves to do what is right only because or only when someone else is doing right, we're not occupying our power and our own justness. We are holding our integrity hostage to someone else's actions, which we cannot control. The only thing that we can 100% control is ourselves, is what we do, our actions, what we feel, what we do, what we think, what we know. And so when I think about spiritual justice, when we know that we are doing this work and we're seeing the world give us feedback that says, yeah, there's still people out there that are doing the wrong thing, or quote unquote, the wrong thing. We are living in a space of attachment to outcomes that are physical, and the outcome is someone else's action. We will become discouraged in our work, in our personal work of justice. And we can even get into the place of feeling as if the work that we are doing to embody justice isn't worth it. And what that does is, whenever someone feels discouraged, what do you feel? If you feel like you're working your butt off to do something and nothing is happening, you're not seeing a change, and you're earnestly searching yourself and you're earnestly reviewing the systems of your behavior and you're earnestly putting yourself in accountable relationships to help you see yourself more clearly, you can think that it's not working. You can think that, oh man, this world, the spiritual doesn't exist. You can even begin to question, am I crazy? Why is nothing happening? Why is imbalance still existing? And this is why we have to also believe in spiritual justice, that there are things happening unseen that we cannot see with our eyes, but that we trust our work. I love this teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and he said something really profound a couple months ago. I think it was actually in January after the inauguration. And it's something that he probably says all the time. But sometimes when we hear something enough or it's said in just the right way, it hits us differently. And in fact, sometimes it's something we already know, but we're just learning it on a deeper level. We're learning another angle of this lesson. He said, we're entering into a time that we're not going to be able to trust what we see. We're not going to be able to trust what we hear. We have to trust the divine presence that is never absent, that is spirit, and we have to trust our personal practice. And what he was saying was that we're going to have dark times in our lives. There are going to be times where we think, I did all the right things. I did what I was supposed to. Why is this outcome still jacked up? Why am I not seeing what I desire to see? Why is there such a distance between my desire and my efforts and the outcome? Man, I just have to take a breath on that one because there have been so many times that I have felt that. I'm thinking about the clarifying card that I picked, which was the wounded healer, Sekhmet. And it's so interesting because the first time that I burnt out in my sacred work was because I felt like I was doing everything to help people see, to bring people together. And it just felt like I was not being supported. Now, I was being supported spiritually, but I felt I was not seeing the outcome that I wanted to see. I gave up. I was like, you know what? I stopped all the programs that I was doing and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And one day I had a dream that I was like a doctor. I was in an operating room and there was a body on the table and it was like sliced open. The internal organs were everywhere. And I was trying to put it back together. And then I looked down and I could see that my stomach was sliced open and that it wasn't just their internal organs on the table, it was mine as well. And it was this awareness that I had that I was operating out of a place of disempowerment. I was disempowered because I was doing the work to see the outcome. I was not doing the work because, well, here's the thing. I was doing the work because I felt wounded by the world. I thought if I could help them see, if I could help them understand, then the harm that I was experiencing from the world would go away. Sorry, I'm having a hard time breathing because this is a very emotional story for me. I was thinking if I could fix the world, it would fix what was happening to me. And Spirit was showing me, no, you must heal yourself. Remember, again, justice is about healing. It is about community. It is about restoring what has been broken, what has been lost. And it was a powerful vision. It sticks with me. And it's a reminder that, again, what I'm seeing in the world, the brokenness that I'm seeing in the world, is to help me look inward, to find the brokenness within myself, to see the places where I am bleeding out and that I get to heal myself. Like that is so important because what I was attached to was an outcome that would keep me from being harmed, that would give me peace in the world. But nobody else can do that for you. No one else can do that for you. You must do it for yourself. And I believe that's part of the reason why we came here. We knew that we would come into this dense reality. The place that we came from, we were one with spirit. There was no division. Everything was perfect. Everything was working together. And we wanted to have a different experience. We wanted to expand our souls. Imagine if you were in the gym and you consistently started off lifting 2-pound weights and you're lifting the 2-pound weights and they were hard at first, but now they're still weights, but you've outgrown that resistance and you need more, but you don't move up to the 5-pound weights. You just stick with the 2-pound weights. Will you see expansion? No, you will just maintain. You will maintain what you've gotten. So in order to expand, you have to up your resistance. Well, it's the same way with our spirits, our souls. We wanted to experience an expansion that gave us some sort of accomplishment that also allowed us to have a different experience. So we came to this planet, we came to this world, we came into a physical incarnation, gladly knowing that it was going to provide resistance, that we would forget our power. And I think that we were so excited to know that who we were and that we were confident that we would be able to find ourselves, that the world would not wound us in a way that we ourselves could not heal. Spiritual justice, as I continue to meditate on that and allow Spirit to encourage and uplift me, it is this awareness that as we do the work to heal ourselves, as we focus on our own self-expansion, as we allow the world to be a mirror to us where we can look deeper, but that we don't allow what we see to be a discouragement. What we see is to be a encouragement to go deeper, to focus more on what is your power, where is your ability to act, not what can't you do or what isn't working. How can you create? How can you unify with the cosmos, with Spirit, to bring about what is already here? Because again, the cosmos is just, we are just seeking to restore ourselves back to what we came from. We have to detach in a healthy way, not in a apathetic way, not in a way that bypasses what is actually happening in the world. There's a balance of non-attachment and doing your personal practice, embodying the personal practice of justice, knowing this as well, that as we model justice, as we are earnest about our work, that the Spirit around us, our souls are transformed, and that others see and get to observe a model of what it looks like to heal yourself and heal the world around you through your own personal healing. So I think that's why Sekhmet came through today, to remind us that justice, being in our own justness, and that the harm that we see in the world, the wounds of the world, are reflecting to us to look inward to our wounds. What must we heal? And that is what we have 100% control of. Healing our history, reclaiming our power, and stepping in to our divine purpose to model in a world that is out of balance. This is spiritual justice, knowing that we are changing the fabric of the spiritual field as we do this work as a spiritual, physical, emotional, and intellectual embodiment act. We're not always going to see what is happening. We're not always going to see what we want to see, but we must know and trust that Spirit is with us, that is in us and around us, and it is us, and that as we do our works, we can't help but create waves of change that will bring about balance. Have a great day.